Now HBO's been putting out some pretty interesting movies in recent years. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but a few good ones here and there. And this one definitely looked interesting. And it had Peter Dinklage in it, so it couldn't be all bad. And I'll be honest, he's easily the best part of the movie too. And if you didn't know, he plays Hervé. And if you don't recognize the name, I mean I didn't, you'll probably still know who he is. He's the guy from The Man with the Golden Gun, the Bond movie, and the TV show Fantasy Island. The little French guy, who apparently had some rare form of dwarfism. And the movie is essentially about his whole life, and how he became a household name. But the story is actually told through another guy, a journalist, who's sent to basically do a puff piece on him in the early 90s, when he was 50 I think. And they end up having dinner, and things kinda go from there. Now here's where things get a little hazy, because I'm not sure how much of this is actually supposed to be true, because the script for this isn't actually written by the guy in the movie, Danny. And nowhere in the credits did I see anything about anyone called Danny having anything to do with it. But then in the end, they show a real photo of the two of them, taken that day. So I have no idea what's going on as far as historical accuracy goes. But then again, does it really matter? No, I guess not. Because the movie is pretty interesting and good enough to hold my attention. Now, as I said, Peter Dinklage is great in this. He's just a notch above everything else in this. Unfortunately, the guy playing the journalist, Jamie Dornan, just wasn't nearly as good. And it was kinda odd. It was almost like he thought he was acting in a different movie. And consequently, their chemistry didn't really work that well either. Sometimes it did, but a lot of the time it didn't. So that part was kinda shaky. And it's a pretty major part of the movie. So it's a bit of an issue. Now, from a technical perspective, this movie is just fine. I don't have many real complaints, but nothing really impressed me much either. It was just kinda so-so. And the pacing wasn't ideal, but the story was interesting enough that it didn't really bother me that much. And I guess that's basically the thing here. The main performance is great and the story is interesting, but the main performance deserves to be in a better movie, and the story deserves better writing. Now, nothing in this is terrible, but as a whole it kinda falls short. There's definitely potential for more here, and I guess that kinda left me a little bit disappointed, because this is a pretty unique story about a guy who basically had all the odds stacked against him. But on the other hand, it's a pretty standard story too, about rags to riches and the fall from grace. And it's a pretty tragic story, all things considered. And in many ways, we've all seen it before. It's basically the rock star who got to the top and pissed it all away. But at the same time, it's also about perseverance and proving everyone wrong. And despite the tragic ending, it still left me feeling pretty upbeat for some strange reason. And I don't know, should you feel upbeat about a story like this? Who knows, but I did. I guess you can look at it as sad or uplifting. It works both ways. But at the end of the day, as a movie, it was just fine. It's a decent enough film. So would I recommend it? If you like Peter Dinklage or want to know more about Hervé, sure. Otherwise, probably not. So go watch it or don't. I'm still not your dad.